Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to look at another childhood related condition called mental retardation. It is also called mentally challenged condition or mental retardation. In mental retardation, as the name suggests, it is the limitations in the development of the child's central nervous system and which happens usually during the developmental period. From conception till 18 years of age is considered to be the developmental period in children. During this stage, when there is incomplete or arrested development in the brain and nervous system is giving rise to this condition called mental retardation. Here, basically, it may or may not be associated with other physical or a mental disorder, but definitely these children are more 3 to 4 times more prone for full range of mental disorders compared to the general population. So here basically what happens in these children is there are deficits in the adaptive behaviors of the children. So when we say adaptive behaviors, it is the ability of a child or an adult to adjust to the social environment according to the expectation of the social environment, the amount of independence, the amount of responsibility one can take in their functioning. So that is the adaptive behaviors. These children who are having mental retardation, diagnosed with mental retardation, have a range of deficits related to the motor and sensory abilities, related to gross and fine motor abilities, related to their cognitive or thinking abilities, language abilities, and their social functioning. So these are the different adaptive behaviors that are affected in these children. So looking at what makes them or how this mental retardation is caused, mainly the causes are mainly looked into from 3 perspectives. One is during pregnancy, that is called conception period, where the mother having any infections, infectious diseases in the first 3 months of pregnancy, or any chromosomal conditions, like there is a condition called Down syndrome, where there is chromosomal abnormalities that can happen within the womb in the during the conception or pregnancy time, or mother's exposure to conditions like tuberculosis or rubella, or for that matter, diabetes or hypertension, high BP, all these conditions, any kidney related or hypothyroidism, or using medicines related to cancer or exposure to harmful X-rays, all these can affect the growth of the growing child or fetus inside the womb. So looking at during delivery factors, during delivery, if the child has a low birth weight, like say below 2 kgs of weight, or sometimes there can be a premature delivery, like delivery between 28 to 34 weeks. Usually the children are born with a lower weight, and then if there is delay in the birth cry, which is considered to be a very important factor of breathing difficulties, where within the first 3 to 5 minutes, where if the child has difficulties in breathing, it can have long-term effects on the child's nervous system. So these are some of the during pregnancy or during delivery conditions. Post pregnancy, if there is a severe malnutrition, generally for the first 1.5 to 2 years, where the brain development is very rapid, if there is a severe malnutrition or if there are other conditions like fits or brain injury or any brain fevers, these conditions within the first 2 years can affect and then result in an incomplete or arrested brain development in these children. So looking at what to do and how to manage, there are two phases here. One is the phase of assessment and the other is the phase of management. So looking at the phase of assessment, as the children has delays in their gross and fine motor, from the time where the children are very young, where there is delay in the sitting and standing milestones, where the parents can make out that there is something not going well with the child. So early recognition and early professional approach is more important, because the developmental period is, as I said, is very rapid in the first 2 years. Within 5 years, if they can bring to the protection to the professional attention, an early intervention program can be intensified and working towards the maximum, bringing the maximum functional capacity of the children. So assessment is mainly focused on intellectual abilities in comparison to the normal age group, where the intellectual abilities will give their ability towards cognitive processing, and then their abilities of skill development, fine and gross motor skills, how these children how much language, both in terms of receptive as well as expressive language, verbal and non-verbal language, all these areas are assessed, including a speech therapist, and even the vision and hearing can be sometimes a problem in these children, in some of these children. So a comprehensive group of team of professionals, rehabilitation psychologist, psychiatrist, and speech therapist, occupational therapist, assessment by all these specialized professional persons can give the functional ability of the children, from where the early intervention program mainly focused towards the first and foremost important aspect is the parental understanding. It is important for the parents to accept and understand that this is the situation, and then what to be done. The earlier the acceptance comes from the parents, the easier it is to focus on helping the child towards bringing the maximum functional ability of the children. And often there are conditions or clinically we have observed that they are if they are unable to accept, or if they are thinking that there can be by shifting to some other doctor or approaching some other expert, or even they are easily, parents are vulnerable for these kind of people who kind of offer magical cures by using methods that are not acceptable, or something that is not really helping the child, but they are only made as a way of, the parental emotions are used as a way of exploitation. So it is important for the parents, irrespective of whatever the education level of the parents, understanding the ability, the capabilities, the limitations of the child will help the child to sail through the process of reaching the maximum functional capability. So here, generally, when it comes to management, generally it depends on the intellectual ability, where the children are categorized into different levels of retardation, like mild, when IQ levels generally comes between 50 to 70 as an IQ score. They usually called mild mentally retarded children. And a score of 35 to 50 will give them a moderate kind of mental retardation. A condition between 20 to 35 is considered to be generally a severe mental retardation, and below 20 score on the IQ is considered to be a profound mental retardation. Children having mild to moderate level of score can be, they have a special school facility where they can attend a regular school, regular in the sense not the regular school for the other children, but they have a special school facility where they are trained mainly in these adaptive skills, helping them to become as independent as they could with a trained team of professionals. Like I said, in the same setting where there is a speech therapist, where there are physical physiotherapist, and there is a rehabilitation psychologist, and if they have any medical issues, a medical officer or a kind of medical doctor availability, along with special education or the teachers who are specially trained in teaching these children, as these children need a different method of teaching using a multisensory approach. So the teaching of the normal children is mainly a blackboard kind of a teaching, or using other computer related gadgets, but the children here are mainly focused on doing the activity and playing with their like stimulation of their motor abilities, or a lot of physical games and a lot of sensory kind of games which help them in order to help them to better adopt to their and then try to bring them to the maximum capacity of able to bring them to the make them independent in their self-care based on their level of adaptability, and then trying to socialize them. So all these can be trained, or they are they can be learned in the mild and moderate by attending the special school. So behavior modification is one other area at a clinical setting where the children and the parents, are at least one parent is trained as to how they can be taught these life skills or adaptive skills at home by breaking the activities into small steps using different kind of reward systems, like eatable rewards or appreciation, or giving them an activity or play kind of rewards by appreciating desirable behaviors, and also a kind of other activities of time out or extinction where there is undesirable kind of behaviors. These children are prone for some of the behaviors of banging head, or continuous biting of their wrist, or sometimes they can be self-injurious to themselves, where some amount of restraint is also recommended, usually in severe and profound cases. Generally, a good social environment, an adaptable social environment with an acceptive kind of environment, most of the mild to moderate children will do well in different settings, in the special school as well as at home. So the acceptance of the parents and other family members, and then bringing in an environmental modification that is suitable for these children can bring a significant difference in the lives of these children. And other physiotherapy facilities, where if the children is having any other physical muscular related issues, where some amount of physiotherapy which can be done at home or in a trained institute can be helpful to bring in the maximum mobility that the children can be capable of. And sensory stimulation is one other area that we need to one need to look for an occupational therapist, where they design different sensory activities for the children, in order to bring in the fine motor as well as the gross motor skills in these children. So other areas of concern, mainly looking at some of these, kind of uh, misconceptions that the parents and other people might have, that marriage can be a cure for this condition. Um, it is something that marriage will only bring in a lot of responsibilities, and it is not a solution for handling or resolving any of these kind of issues. And looking, some of the parents can look at it more like their a bad karma that has resulted in. So most of the times it's important for the parents and the family members to understand the reasons for this condition is not under direct control of the parents, and hence it is wise to focus more on the management rather than looking at what has caused this condition and looking at it as a kind of a bad karma or a fate kind of situation. So a significant change or a significant functioning level can be brought, especially with the mild and moderate kind of children, by providing an accepting environment, by making little modifications in the family environment. And it is very much important that the child is provided or developed a structured kind of daily routine by bringing in the required assessment and whatever is required for the child in order to function to the maximum capacity. Sometimes it might become a burden on the parents, and then there might be a difficulty in terms of adjustment between the parents. There can be marital discord issues where one of the parent may have to sacrifice. If there are more on the career oriented side, it is important to understand that one of the parent, usually the mother, is need to be looked at least a part of the child's taking them, if it requires, the taking them to the classes or attending to some of these conditions where the parents are trained in occupational therapy, so that they can continue the activities that are tailor made for the children at home. So there's a lot of involvement and sacrifice that is required in taking care of these children, and look at it more from a positive perspective, and then giving them your best unconditionally without expecting much results is what can be more helpful. It is very hurtful for any parent when they are expecting a healthy child, but there are certain things that we need to kind of cope with when a situation is presented. And then it is important or wise where looking at it as a way of making themselves to understand things in a much more broader perspective. Sometimes just having a material fulfillment may not be the purpose of life if you are open as a parent to look at the life in a much more broader perspective. So caring for the children, and especially these children are also prone for exploitation and physical and sexual abuse. So it is important to always one parent be with them, whatever the activity and wherever the setting the child is in. So it is important that the protection is provided by availability of the parent, and giving your best to their children, to your children, is much more important rather than focusing on things of what people will think, or hiding the facts, or trying not to expose them to the other social situations. So as far as possible, bringing in a structure, a meaningful routine in these children. And some of them also have this misconception, if normal children are playing with these kind of children, there can be effects on the normal children, which is absolutely baseless where it is important for especially the milder and moderate mentally challenged children to actually expose to a normal children. Like I said, in childhood autism, it is important even for the normal children to know and how to behave sensitively to such special needs children. So this is what I wanted to share today, and then hope a little bit of help I mean, you are able to get a little information based on this brief video. And anyone who require any help towards, helping those children can always approach us. And then we may not be able to provide all the services, but definitely we'll be able to guide you to the appropriate services. Thank you all.